Motor versus Crate. To us, they there when we need them. They've done some really good things for the show. We can't tell you how much we appreciate Archer Floor Coverings, Bar S Motorsports, Stumbly J Livestock. We've got to get their prices up. Those guys have got the best. I mean, their breakfast sausage. I mean, I know we talk about their steaks and stuff, but I'm a big fan of their breakfast sausage. Best you're going to find. Price is unbeatable. We've got Jet Stream Aqua Massage, Northwest Trucking Academy. Mention you want to go to truck driving school. It's 4 weeks, man. If you don't have a job, you want to do something different, you can get scholarships. Northwest Trucking Academy. 4 weeks. Turn your life around, get a new direction, get on the roads. There probably wouldn't exist. They support us. AMCO, Total Car Care Center. These Mac and the gang. I mean, spend some time with those dudes. My allergies have not been out there with the ATVs and the dust flying, and we left when the guns came out. But there was some gunfire. It was pretty cool. It was a fun deal. So we're going to talk. I want to talk about. I know we need to get Mike in here. I want to get our call-in guest. I know we posted it up on.
He's going to call him next week now. It's too late.
Okay. All right. So my fault. I apologize. I got the Rambling Tongue of Racing. We're going to get him on next week.
Yeah, he's already agreed.
Okay. So, and again, the time restraints, trying to make up for a two-night show. That's going to happen. Tell him it's my fault. Dennis, I apologize. Dennis Pittsenbarger from Sticker Shock.
Right. Yep.
Pittsenbarger.
I don't think you said it right.
Pittsenbarger.
That is how you say it.
I know. I like making him say it over and over again.
It's Dennis Pittsenbarger.
I'm aware.
Okay, Sticker Shock. Affected. Thank God. But everybody else has been, especially Mike. Let's get you to call in as soon as you can. I know that that's what I say we're going to talk about. And
something's been bugging me for a few weeks.
Get it out.
Well.
Now, wait a second.
Here's the thing, though. That is sad.
I just don't want to see that, okay?
Yes, there is.
They're absolutely. Is that always a bad thing? I don't think so.
Well, and I'm not saying that I'm not saying it's completely 100% bad. I'm just saying realize who's around you.
And I get what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. Because when there are kids around, you probably want to conduct yourself a little different. Now, man-to-man, out on the side or whatever, where you guys want to do what you got to do. But let's be professional. Just because we're not professional doesn't mean we don't have to act professional.
Because then you become professional.
Right. Well, and that's how you keep the sponsors. That's how you get the racing in the West right now needs all the help it can get, especially when you're talking late model ranks. Let's talk about, name one series here in the Pacific Northwest. Other than the Iron Giant, name one series. Give me a series that's got a major sponsor out in the West. You don't see Lucas Oil late models out here. You don't see the World of Outlaw late models. You don't see any late model tour, period. Late models are going away. And it sucks to watch. It absolutely sucks to watch because the cost of the sport is up against itself. At some point, you've got to do something, whether that is a series that makes it worth racing financially. Payout-wise, I'm talking payout. A guy's not going to show up to run a late model obviously around here they will. They'll show up for next to nothing.
For a quarter of their cost for the weekend, yeah.
Right. And when it costs you $500 to unload the car, and that's the purse, that sucks.
Sounds like there may be some side betting going on.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. And we talked about this before. Guys are frustrated, especially at that late model series. You guys get the calls like I do.
Yeah.
And it happens 2-3 times a week. Are the late models going to be able to be – are we going to save the late models? What's going on? What can we do? There's guys asking us what we can do to help save late model racing in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know. I don't know what that answer is.
Mm-mm.
If I had an answer, I'd certainly be first in line to fix it. I'll tell you that right now.
It just seems like every week it's not even a hit or miss. It's just kind of a
miss.
But
here, okay. So let's analyze this. I'm glad you brought this up, Sam. I mean, it led to this anyway. Thanks. So here's the thing, and I'm not running anybody that's ever tried to run a series down. I'm not running track owners down. I'm not running sponsors down. But let's look at it from both sides. Late model guys aren't bringing the cars out. Why? because it doesn't pay enough to win. You're not enticing these guys. You're not giving them a carrot. You give them something to show up for, they're going to show up. Here's the other side of that. And I understand this too. From a track owner, I mean, I'm not a track owner, but from a track owner's perspective, I can see why the purses aren't going up or even right now going down. You don't want to show up? Why should I give you an incentive?
But here's the thing. So take Willamette. We'll just take Willamette and put it as an equation. So more of the IMCA classes are coming in.
Right.
For him, as an owner, and I'm talking about Jerry,
okay,
it's easier for him to go by a sanctioning body. It's their rules. They set the purse. It takes a lot of the footwork out of his hands where he has to do it. So are you going to find a late model sanctioning body in this area?
No.
No, you're not.
You're not going to. Okay, so again, you give these guys a reason to show up, and they're going to show up.
But not everybody.
But on the same side of that, on the racers, if you don't show up, why should they give you an incentive? We're late model racing. The state of late model racing in the Pacific Northwest is in a state worse than it's ever been.
It's the whole West Coast, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're right. I shouldn't have said Northwest. You're right. It's the Western region. It's the Western region. There's not enough money to race. Well, they're not going to put it up. I'm not going to show up. Well, you can't blame those guys for not putting up a $5,000 to win race if they're only drawing 10 to 13 cars on a weekly show.
And that just didn't happen only in dirt track. It happened in asphalt, too. I mean, that's why Rod got out of it.
Right. Racing in the West right now is unless it's an IMCA deal or a street stock, it's not good.
But that's Chris and those guys busting their butt to keep street stock racing alive in the Pacific Northwest. They're not even trying to do it down the West Coast. They're trying to keep it.
But street stocks, the street stocks are pretty much thriving everywhere. It's simply because in all of racing, it's one, if you want to call it affordable, by racing terms, it's the most affordable class, dollar for dollar. What they're winning to what they're spending. I mean, you got to look at all that.
Oh, yeah.
You got to look at all that. So you look at, an IMCA modified. Okay, let's build an IMCA modified scratch, bare chassis, and let's build it with an open motor. Okay? We're going to build an IMCA modified with an open motor, minus wheels and tires. How much less is it going to cost you to build a top-of-the-line IMCA modified versus a late model? There's not a whole lot of difference there, guys. The cost of building it.
Oh, building.
The cost of building it isn't a whole lot different than what it's going to cost to build a good late model.
But it's a sanctioned class that you can go run it anywhere you want. Anywhere.
Absolutely. You're right. They're racing for $400 or $500 to win. Late models are racing for $750 right now if there's less than 14 cars. $500 at some tracks. Where is the incentive to build a late model? Where is the incentive to bring your late model, if you have one, to the track? But then if you don't bring them, why should a track owner put up more money? That's the argument on both sides. And from being on the outside, not being a car owner, not being on a crew of a race car, I understand both arguments. What's unfortunate is we're not getting some kind of compromise to meet in the middle.
Well, it sounds like California, they're wanting to do a crate series. So here's
my problem with that, though.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and I just said it minutes ago. They're talking about making that a 604 crate. That's not the way to go with a crate series. Because you're taking those guys that run open motors, and you're going to say, you know what, you're going to run a 604. They're going to give you the bird. They're going to give you the bird and let you know that you are number one because they like power. I mean, you're going to be hard-pressed to get guys like Darren Koffel and Rob May and John Duty to put a 525 in their car, let alone a 604. Think about it. You go to California and you go to a big-time late model race with a 604 crate series, you're not going to see John Duty, Justin Duty. You're not going to not even see Joey Tanner, Weinbarger, Maya, Koffel. You're not going to see Tony Toast, Jason Pappas, Rob Sanders. You're not going to see Steve Drake. You're not going to see the top elite drivers that like that power go to what they call those little motors. Now, if you make a compromise and make it a CT 525 rule, I think you're going to have a lot of cars. Because number one, everybody's running the same engine. It's still got some power. Still got 530 horse. I would absolutely love to see a CT 525 traveling crate series. And you
From
put
where?
the whole West Coast. Let's start at Skagit and let's go down to Bakersfield and hit every track in between. You know what I mean? You put the money up. Okay, number one, you've made this affordable. CT 525s, you're going to have, even the best of everything, you're going to have, what, 10 grand in the motor, Dom?
Yeah, probably 10.
10 grand.
Yeah, and I think that's even being pretty generous on what we're dealing with.
Right.
You know.
So now we're talking about guys that have 5 times that in their engine and their cars
Yeah.
now. 5. You could have 5 of those crate motors or 2 full late models.
Yep.
For the cost of your open motor. Okay. So now you got a 525. Everybody's got enough power to go fast. Everybody's competitive. And you put the money up for those guys to race, you're going to have a high car count. You're going to. You're going to see 30 of them.
So is it going to take somebody like Chris, who wanted to make a traveling series and was a racer, to do it? Is it going to take?
Can't do it. You can't do that.
Is it going to take?
You're either a promoter or you're a racer. You can't do it. A guy can't race and promote. That is something that's my personal thought. Let me say that's my personal thought. I don't think that is a formula for success. Being whether you're a series owner and racing that series, that's not good. If you're a track owner and racing in any division, I don't think that's good. I certainly wouldn't do that because you're going to get, and Jerry hears it, any track owner that races hears it. Oh, he's racing his track. He gets favoritism. I don't know if I see any favoritism going his way, but people say that. It just creates problems, and not just with the fans, but the other drivers. The other drivers say, "Oh, well, how come he spun and got his spot back? Because he's a track owner." That's going to be the argument. That's just why I say it's not a good idea.
I agree with that 100%.
That's why I say it's not a good idea. But
so, do you think that's why you're getting the phone calls? Because they want you to start this traveling crate series?
do you know how? Sam, don't do that.
Oh yeah.
Don't
You're
do
welcome,
that.
Scott. I just did it.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying. You're a promoter or you're a racer? Which one are you?
Well, I'm certainly not racing right now, am I?
No. So I guess that puts you on the promoting side.
And that's something I absolutely enjoy. I absolutely love it. There's been talk, but it takes a team. One guy isn't going to do everything. There's so much. I don't think people realize when they're talking to these track owners or talking to people that are putting together a series how much work that really is. That is an insane amount of work, and it is 24/7, 365. Sam, you know this.
Oh yeah.
Dom, you know this.
Oh yeah, just doing what we do takes a lot.
And we're not on a big level doing.
No.
And we might be media. We're media for a small region.
Yeah.
Can you imagine doing media for a major traveling series like World of Outlaws, Lucas Oil,
No,
USMTS?
When I did it for the magazines, just events.
You're never
You're
home.
exhausted.
Yeah.
Every weekend you're gone.
Absolutely.
You don't get those days back off.
Would we do it? Would we take the challenge? I absolutely would. I absolutely would, but I would have to know there is somebody, okay? This is the problem with racing in the West. You look at what we're doing out here, and you look what's going on back east. There isn't one single corporate sponsor backing anybody anywhere over here in the West Coast. Not one. There isn't one major series. You want to race, you go to a local track, or you jump into it like IMCA Modified Speed Week in the Northwest. I wish every race was nationally televised because that would change things out here in the West Coast. I'm telling you right now, that is badass racing right there. There isn't, who wouldn't, as a corporate sponsor, want to sponsor that event? That week-long series. If I had a big-time multi-millionaire company, I would definitely be the title sponsor of that deal right now, and I'd put up some big money to win that deal. We know what that is out here. The rest of the country has no idea. But this is the most untapped talent pool in the country. There is so much talent here that goes unrecognized. It's disgusting. But nobody's doing anything to change it from the corporate level. Am I right when I say that?
I agree with you completely because even a racer, for that point, can't. Most of them have day jobs.
Right.
So this isn't a career; it's a hobby.
Right.
But it may be